Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a play and review of the Winterfall expansion for Wondrous Creatures, and disclaimer that I got a review copy of this. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So if you didn't see my previous Wondrous Creatures coverage, this is a competitive Euro for 2 to 4 players, but it also has a solo mode that works really well. That's what I'll be showing today. And it's kind of a mix of a worker placement game and a tableau builder in the Wingspan vein. And the Winterfall expansion adds a whole bunch of stuff to it. So let me talk through some of those new elements, and then I'll jump into the solo playthrough. So first of all, there are a bunch of new creature cards, and the most prominent are an entirely new species of creatures, that icon in the upper left, which are the spirit species. That brings the number of species total to 8. They've also got a bunch of new characters you can play as, I think 6 in all. They have a new series of time tracks for different player counts, which are going to instigate these Winterfall and Aurora events when you reach certain spaces. And those trigger these cards that put snowflakes above the creature spots in the wilderness, and also let you put down these Aurora tiles that give special bonuses when you put your workers next to them, as well as changing up the landscape in other ways, like adding mountains or adding wild habitats. And for the snowflakes, whenever you take the creature card underneath of them, you get all of them, which is going to help you out with the new endgame scoring. Now, at the end of every game, you score 3 projects. 2 of them are randomized with these new species tokens to represent 2 of the species, and 1 of them is always snowflakes. And based on player count, you'll earn different numbers of victory points for having the most of these things. And for the 2 species ones, the reason they have this little grayed out thing to the side is because, unlike every other achievement in the game, you will also count your hatched eggs you've taken and then flipped over for some effect afterwards. And speaking of achievements, these are slightly different as well. Instead of having different cards for the single and multi-species achievements, now you always use the same 2 cards for each, but you randomize which species they are with those same tokens, so it speeds up setup a little bit. And you might also notice that in the original game, only 6 of the 7 species had an achievement connected to them, so there'd be one that was kind of the odd one out. That's not the case anymore because you've still got 6 species in these achievements, but with these 2 majority scores at the end of the game, it means that every single one of the 8 species is useful in one way or another. They also added a bunch of new main achievements, so there's more variety there than ever before, although some of the base game ones aren't used anymore. There's also these blizzards that can come out from some of the events that will block up the map in different ways. And the AI bot Tingent got an even harder mode for experts of the game, and you got some more scenarios to play in solo. That's pretty much everything, but it's a lot of new stuff and a lot of good stuff. So let's jump in. I've done some of the setup for the game, but there's a few steps I still need to do. I'm playing against the Wild Tingent, which is the 3rd difficulty level out of 5 now, so pretty tough. He's got his 2 workers, he's got his 6 achievement markers. There is a new Tingent deck that's going to do things slightly differently. Now they'll interact with the winter stuff. But a new step in setup is you flip over one of, I think it's like 6 or 8 prelude cards that will set up the map in a different way. Here we've got Silent Eggs. It's going to put starting snowflakes on the 4th, 5th, and 6th snow field, which is the wilderness, the spots above the wilderness when we capture those creatures. And it also always puts out 2 random wild habitats. Here we're covering up both of the starting habitats that flip over eggs. And then we leave that to start the discard pile for the Winterfall events that'll come later. So we've got these 3 snowflakes. And I've drawn 2 random wild habitats. I say random because they have different special effects, even though they are just wild. So if you put your worker next to one of these, you can get any type of resource or any type of card from the wilderness. And they're going here and here, as indicated on the card. Sorry, I got a little sun glare going on right there. And with that, we're ready to jump in. But before we get to the last steps of our player setup, let's look at what Tingent is going for. So our main achievements this time, this one's from the base game. If I have 8 or more unhatched eggs in my reserve, then I can get 15 points. But he's also going for it, so if I don't go quickly enough, I might only get 9. If I have 8 or more creature cards that are not instant cards, not ones that give me an immediate benefit, then I can complete that one. And if I just have 14 creature cards overall, wow, that's a lot, then I can complete that. And then the single species are apes or monkeys and dragons. We got the combo of fish and birds. These are the ones that Tingent is going for first, so I'm less likely to complete those at a higher level. and crustaceans and lizards. And our endgame stuff are butterflies and spirits. Importantly, if I don't have at least one of each of those, I'll get 0 points instead of second place. So I at least want to have one of each, and I got to decide if I want to compete, because at the wild Tingent level, he gets 3 bonus automatic ones for each of these, on top of whatever he actually earns in the game. That is not the case for the snowflakes. The bot does not get any bonus virtual ones of those. Well, let's finish my player setup. I'm supposed to draw 2 characters and pick one for my captain. I'm only using ones from the expansion, just to show you more of those. And I got Aquilo the Ice Digger. It says each time I place my captain, I draw 1 card. And then if I have 5 or more eggs, hatched or unhatched, I get that card's habitat resource. And if I have 10 or more eggs, I also gain its victory points. It's pretty dang good. And just by chance, funnily enough, my other character is also an egg-focused one, Freya. Each time my captain is placed, I gain victory points based on my total eggs. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Geez. But I kind of like Aquilo more because so many of the achievements are just about getting a ton of people out. So there we go, and I put the little lock icon on here. If you haven't seen the game before, you might want to watch my original videos, although I'll try to explain things. But you don't get to use this special power for your captain. I guess I should put him together. They have little magnets that connect them to one of your workers. I don't get any bonuses from placing my captain on the board until I've gained my first achievement. So I want to find one that I can potentially rush. And then finally, I'm drawing some cards. They said the version they sent me was basically the same as the final version. I do notice there's like a slight difference in card back color, and the sides are not 100% flush, but I do deal shuffling instead of riffle shuffling anyway, so it's not a big deal. All right, let's look at my options. Okay, first I'm just looking at type here. So I've got 3 dragons. Ooh, and 3 dragons could get me a really fast achievement that the bot is not going to steal, which would let me unlock my leader's power. Now, are they super expensive? Yeah, they're pretty expensive. Geez, 2 melon and 2 flowers, 3 mushrooms, and 2 coral. I can't even just get like a ton of one thing and be okay. Ooh, but look at Ninmite's power. I discard a card to gain 2 eggs of its species with an egg achievement sitting out there, and also my person benefiting from eggs. That's pretty amazing. Platinodon's pretty nice also. Discard 1 card to take 2 cards from the wilderness. That could let me fast track some of those snowflakes. And Bustasaur's power is fine. Score 1 endgame card in your reserve once more if I can get at least 1 good one. They're often worth like up to 12 victory points. That could be pretty awesome. But he costs a ton, although he's also a double type. He'll also count as a crustacean, so maybe I should go for him. Okay, looking at the other ones, none of them really wow me, but I do have this Curachino guy that at the very least I could discard for Ninmite's power to get 2 eggs. And besides that, I'll keep the 3 dragons, although I don't know if I'll play Bustasaur over here. Not Bulbasaur, Bustasaur. These other 4 get discarded. And with that, I take the first turn. So on your turn, you just take 1 quick action. I can place one of my crew members, one of my 3 workers on the map to get resources and cards. I can play up to 2 creature cards, so I want to save up until I can get 2 played at once, pretty much always. I can complete an achievement if I have one. Again, that dragon one seems like it's going to be the fastest to go for. Or if I have all 3 of my crew members out, I can recharge. Okay, and looking at the map for placement, I do want to note that there are starting eggs that came out from the initial setup. Again, sorry for the sun glare here. And if I want to play Nidmite, I need 1 more melon and 1 more flower. And if I want to play, where's the other guy? This guy, I need 1 more coral, 2 more mushrooms. So I need a little bit of everything. The best spots in terms of pure resource gathering are here for 3 coral, here for 2 coral and a fruit. You're looking at the habitats that are adjacent. Here for 3 fruit. I think those are the only things to get me 3. So here to get the butterfly or here to get the lizard seems good. And I'm kind of leaning lizard because that'll go with the crustacean if I get 2 crustacean eggs, and I'll be working on 2 achievements pretty quickly. Although 3 fruit is not going to really help me that much. Well, let's go for it anyway. So I take one of my workers, I put them down. They can't go on water. They can't go on habitats. They can go on mountains, but if at least one of the hexes is a mountain, I have to spend a resource. So usually you want to avoid that. So I'm going to go here. I get the egg automatically onto my player board, and that gets me 1 victory point in this case. The brown stamped victory point numbers mean immediate victory points, which are important because you gain bonuses as you go down the victory point track. And then I get to activate each habitat I'm next to, either for its resource, in this case a fruit, or for a card that's from its habitat, which is the icon in the upper right here. Oh, there is one here, wrong. Ooh, immediately activate your last played instant card, although he's pretty expensive. He is worth 2 victory points. But hey, at least I'll get a snowflake, even if I don't keep him. So sure, let's go ahead and grab him. And these do not get filled in until the end of my turn, and there are no other fruit habitat ones. So for the other 2 adjacent fruit habitats, I'll go ahead and gain 2 fruit, which gives me enough to still play nobody. Now, additionally, as a free action, I could use a net to activate one of the special icons on a place that any of my workers are adjacent to, not just the worker that I just placed. So here I could sweep half of the cards out of the market and then take a card from the wilderness, or I could gain another fruit. But you can also use these to grab eggs that your workers are adjacent to, usually ones in lakes. So with me kind of looking at an egg strategy here, I certainly want to wait for that. All right, and then to wrap up my turn, I fill in the empty spot, and we go to Tingent. So they're going to flip a card. Oh, whoops, I have these upside down. At the start of the game, unless you're playing a special scenario, all of them should start with the lighter side, face up. Okay, so here we go. And we perform the actions left to right. So here, Tingent is grabbing a card that matches its light yellow or light brown, tan, whatever color that is, achievement. So I look, and currently they want, for this achievement, fish or birds. And we look if there are any. There are indeed 2 of them. Their next tiebreaker, because it has the snowflake icon there, is whichever one has more snowflakes, which is none. And the next tiebreaker is who is worth more points, which in this case is Swander. So they're going to grab him for 3. And he goes face up because all of the bird icons and fish icons are going to help them do better on that achievement. Then they get an egg matching the species of that card. These also help them get achievements and additionally are worth 1 victory point each at the end of the game. And finally, they get a free snowflake, not coming from any of the snow fields, which is something only they can do. And then the last step is you check this little central icon. And if it has a little winding icon in the middle, which this one does not, then they will advance towards some automatic effects, also toward completing achievements. So they're going to do that fish and bird one first. Then they're going to do their monkey achievement. Then over here, they're going to do their leftmost main achievement, which is the 8 egg ones. I think I can probably beat them to that one. But in this case, none of that happened. And once they reach these brown spaces, you shuffle their deck up and flip them to the stronger brown side for the rest of the game. And also, this is new in the expansion, they can go on mountains. Normally, their workers can never be placed on mountains, but reaching that spot changes that. All right, now it's back to me. So I could get 3 coral, although I don't really need that. What do I need? If I want to play Nidmite, I need a flower. And then Platinodon needs a coral. So if I went here for the wild, that would work. Yeah, okay, even though it's less stuff, it will get me that fish. I can use my net to get that crab, so that seems good. So I'll go here. I'm not putting my leader down yet, just in case I somehow get an achievement before I place them, which is unlikely. Okay, so I get the fish egg, which lets me immediately grab somebody from the wilderness. And this time it can be anybody. Maybe the dragon, although if I'm going for 3 dragons, I guess I don't need any more. Or the Bansheer. I'm ready to get at least 1 spirit to be eligible for that, even if I let the AI run away with it, because they get 3 for free at the difficulty I'm doing. So they give me ongoing victory point generation when creatures add snowflakes or blizzards, which is not a super common effect. Like none of my current cards go for it. Yeah, so never mind. Let me give myself another dragon option to get that achievement. And again, I'll get the snowflake. All right, now that was just from the egg. I can also get a coral, person, or resource, and any resource. I'm going to get resources. So I got the coral, and I'm getting a flower for the wild, because I need that to play the Nidmite. And then I will use my 1 net to grab that crab egg from the lake next to me, which gets me another victory point. So I already got 3 eggs out of 8, which is going to be great for my captain's power once it's unlocked. And again, 8 will let me get to that achievement. And I've grabbed most of the initial snowflakes, so that's good. All right, back to the bot. All right, so they are placing their regular worker down. You'll notice the icons are a little different. In the base game cards, if you watched that, they would both be fruit. But now their workers always prefer to get next to the Aurora tiles that will come out from these Aurora events and from the Winterfall events and things sometimes. And these tiles cover up habitats and add really powerful effects to them, but they're temporary. Every time somebody puts a worker next to them to use them, they have these tokens that get removed. And when all the tokens are removed, the Aurora tiles go away. The Aurora Borealis has faded in that region, I guess. But in the case of the bot, they always want to go next to the Aurora, because if you look at the very bottom, they score a ton of victory points for doing so, and they discard one of the tokens. At my level, Wild, they get 5 victory points for going next to it. So that is always on every one of their worker placement cards, absolutely their first priority. Now, in this case, that's not possible, so they're going to go next to as many fruit as they possibly can. And that includes the wild ones, because they can count as anything. So yeah, they've got 2 choices here. Here and here will both get them next to 2 fruit habitats. And looking at their priorities, so most target habitats we've got, most total habitats would be the same. It'd be 2 either way. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't. This takes up 3 spots because of the coral. And then they gain 1 victory point for each of the target habitat they went to. And again, wild habitats always count for this. But that's all they gain, in this case 2 victory points. They also don't gain any of the stuff for passing by the spots on the score spot. They just tend to get a ton of points for putting their people out if you don't block them up some. All right, now I could play some cards, but you know what? I don't want to. I want to grab another egg while it's free and go here to this triple coral spot. And getting an egg gives me a wild resource. I'll get a mushroom. I know I needed 2 mushrooms for one of the guys. And then I'm getting 3 coral. There are 2 coral people out. Frogave is very expensive and lets me restore all the energy on an energy card, of which I still have none. This one just gets me a net, which is great. So let's go ahead and get him for 1 of my coral gains. Which, by the way, just a note, brings me to 7 cards. You can have any number of cards, but whenever you pull back your workers, and all 3 of mine are out, you have to discard down to 5. But it's okay. I'll be able to play some cards before I do that recharge action and would have to enforce that hand limit. All right, so that was 1 of my corals. The other 2 will bump me up to 4. 6 is the max you can have of any resource. All right, Contingent is up again, and they're once again putting down their non-leader, their non-captain figure. It'll have a crown if it's the captain. So this time they want to be next to as many coral as possible. Good thing I just jumped in there. And they cannot, these are all core game rules, but they cannot remain on any hex of where they previously were. So in this case, they're looking for the most coral. It's clearly going to be here. They're jumping in here and getting 2 victory points for 2 matching habitats. And their workers never leave the field. So once their captain comes out, he'll be out on the map for the rest of the game. And he'll just pop around. Wait, did I put my captain on backwards? No, they're right. Never mind. All right, so it's my turn. And I got to play. And again, I think I'm going for 3 dragons, right? Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I should have gone for 3 monkeys because they haven't made any progress on this whatsoever yet. And when they get the achievements, if they have a bunch of the stuff, they get to take the higher one. But if they don't, they take the lower one unless it's already taken. So I could theoretically shut them out of birds or fish. But now I don't really see any way to do that. So let's not worry about that right now. All right, so first, I definitely want to play Nidmite. That's 2 fruit and 2 flowers. Could be worth 3 victory points at the end of the game, but I now enforce his ability immediately. I discard 1 card to gain 2 eggs of its species. And yeah, I still think Bustasaur doesn't seem that great. But I'm not going to use him for the dragon, since I have cards to play for more dragons. I'll use him for the crustacean eggs, which gets me another victory point and a card from the wilderness. Let's see. I could get the spirit just for the snowflake. I could get fish because I know they're going for them, and that'll make it harder for them to get the higher victory points. Maybe I should go for that. This one has a pretty awesome power. The hourglass symbol means that it happens every time you recharge, every time you pull back your workers. In this case, this one lets you draw a card from the top of the deck and gain its habitat resource, which is pretty dang good. Whereas this guy is super cheap to play. Oh, and he lets you draw 1 card out of 3 and gain the victory points of its ending score, which could be up to 3 points for most people. Yeah, and he's cheaper. I think I could actually afford him before I go here. So sure, let's grab him. Okay, so that was Nidmite, and then getting a card from the eggs. I still get to play another one. And that was going to be Platinodon, right, to get another dragon. So that's 2 coral. And I get to discard a card to take 2 cards from the wilderness. What am I not going to play? I do want to have 1 more dragon. I can play these fish. I'm kind of doing good on crustaceans. Let's get rid of Barong. So now I get to take 2 wilderness cards. Let's get the one that gives me the snowflake. Why not? And let's get this fish so that the AI is even less likely to get the cards they need for their first achievement. Oh, crap, that puts me to 6 cards now, so maybe I'll play again? I think I have enough resources to do it. But for now, oops, I forgot to move Tingin's thing. That was the only time, right? Oh, they should have moved it twice. Stupid, Mike. So they get to this little spyglass symbol. For a player, that means they would take one of these tokens and put it down on any lake. And then if there was an egg there, they would get it. For the AI, they always just take the top one from the pile, and they always put it on the leftmost lake with an egg. So they get this crab. But that was their previous turn. Let's actually get to their new turn. All right, they're going to advance again. And once again, they're moving their regular guy. They have not put out their captain yet. And they're going for flowers since there's no auroras. And remember, at this point, they can't go on mountains, so most flowers will be here, and they'll get 2 victory points. And this advances again, which means they advance the time track, which for a player would get them a free net, but the bot does not track resources like that. But we are going to resolve our first Winterfall event in 1 to 2 player. There's only 2 of them. So we reveal the first card, and we check if the icon in the upper left matches the icon of the current discard. It never will for the prelude because they have a different icon. But after this one, the next event could match. We draw a different one. And then we resolve the events one at a time. So we're going to place snowflakes on the 1st, 4th, and 5th snowfield. Then we're going to place snowflakes on each snowfield with a fruit or flower habitat. And then here we go. We're going to reveal Aurora tiles from the stack until we find 2 2-slot tiles. And we're going to place the first on the wild habitat on the left and the second on the wild habitat on the right. Wow, so the wild habitats are going away. All right, so here's all the snowflakes. We got some doubled up ones there. And we're flipping Auroras until we get 2 ones. You see how it has like 2 little icons there? So this is going to go on the left wild. And oh, there's another one. This one's going to go on the right wild. And we put these little tokens on them to track how many times they can be used. So this left one, when we go next to it, can be used to gain an egg. And this one can be used to get a net. And once it's been used twice, it'll go away and it'll become a wild token again. But note that we can't use the wild. We can't use its special thing by discarding a net. It has become this Aurora tile for a little while. And the bot is, again, going to super focus on those because if they can get next to them, they get 5 victory points at their level. And unfortunately, I have to pull back all my workers soon, so I'm not going to be able to rush to stop them. All right, but I want to play something. I think, was this one I could play? So that guy's 1 fruit and 1 fungus, 1 mushroom. Yes, and this one is 2 coral, so I can play both of these. All right, so let's play Cuckoo Net first. Cost me 2 coral, and then I just get a net. And then let's play Swampus. You can overlay the ones with lightning bolt symbols because all you care about are the icons you've gotten. And I get to draw 3 cards. I take 1, place the rest in the discard, and I gain the same victory points as the ending score. So I really want it to be like a 3 victory point one, if any of them have that many. And I have to pay a fruit and a mushroom. Wow, I'm almost out. I've now got 3 fish, by the way, so if I can get 2 more fish and or birds, I could, again, potentially skunk the bot from their first achievement. Okay, so we got a dragon, which we don't really need because we have another dragon we're going to play. We've got a butterfly, and we've got a crab. The crab appeals to me the most. Okay, the butterfly is worth 3, and I gain an egg of my choice. And this guy's super expensive. Oh, but he costs 1 less per mushroom habitat, of which I have none. So, okay, never mind. We'll go for the wasp spike. And that leaves me with just 5 cards, so I can do my recharge next turn. Although I have a feeling that the bot is going to jump on one of those auroras. Yep, before I get the chance. So here they want to be next to the most auroras and then the most coral, but that's not going to matter here. Because since they can't do mountains yet, the only one they can get next to is here. So they remove one of these, and they get 5 victory points. Ouch. And they would additionally still get 1 victory point for each coral habitat they were next to, but there weren't any in this case. And they're advancing one more time. Ooh, shoot. They're going to get that fish and bird one in 2 more advances. I have 1 fish I could play, but not the resources for it. I don't know where I'm going to get the other fish or bird in time. But for now, none of that matters because I have to recharge because I don't have anybody to play or much to do. So when you recharge, first you get your 3 crew members back. Then you advance the time marker. So I get a net. I have 2 now. You can hold up to 3. And I do a full sweep of the creatures in the wilderness. And then I'm going to add new eggs to any empty square spots on the board. So there, and there, and there. These are from the bag, which starts out with 5 of each species type of egg in there. Ooh, free crab if I can jump over there. Actually, double crab if I grab that. That would give me already 5 crabs for that 1 achievement, although I want to go for 8, I think. And again, all these dudes get swept, but it's important to note these snowflakes don't go anywhere. Those spots are still ready for people to grab the snowflakes from. All right. Ooh, we got some birds. We got a bird fish. Ooh. If I can grab him quick enough, I can maybe still beat out the bot. Really depends on whether their next few cards have the... Okay, good, they don't have that. And they're getting something for the first species card they're going for, which is monkeys, simians, of which there are none in the wilderness. To show you what I mean, very important rule thing, they want that icon for their blue achievement. And currently that does not exist. So they get a face down card, which won't help them at all for achievements, but is worth more points based on their skill level. For the wild Tingeon, they get 3 for each of those. Now they get a matching egg, which unfortunately is still going to be a monkey egg because it matches the card they were trying to get. And they also get a snowflake, which means I'm barely ahead right now, 3-2. I really got to get one of those wilderness spots that has a bunch of them. All right, which brings it to me. So I can put my people down. I want a lot of stuff. If I want to play my 3rd dragon to grab that quick achievement, I need another coral and another flower. I have none of those. So I could go like here. But I also really want to grab that Duck Kaiser who needs a bunch of melons and a mushroom and also has a mushroom habitat. So I have to go there if I want to grab him. Oh, and then I could also get the egg. Sure, so let's do this. So I'll go there, which gets me a crab egg. And a victory point. I'm 2 away from putting down my own thing. I'm still that far away. And then I will use a net. to grab the butterfly that's here, which will get me a resource of my choice. So what I need 1 coral, 1 flower. And if I grab the duck Kaiser, that's 2 fruit and 1 flower. That's just a lot of random stuff, but okay, I guess I'll get the flower. Oh, I have 8 eggs already, so I can get that first achievement. Maybe I'll do that on my next turn. But I also can't forget, I'm next to 2 mushrooms, so I'll grab the duck Kaiser for 1, just because, again, it's enough for me to grab that fish bird achievement immediately if I play it. And then for my second one, I'll just get a mushroom. Yes, I didn't get any of the cards that have snowflakes above them, which I kind of wanted to do, but so it goes. So I'm ready to do a few achievements, although I realize if I get the 8 egg achievement, I'm going to have to flip over all of my eggs, and they can't count for most other things, except for these little competitive contests at the end. So I might want to wait on that. All right, and what are they doing? Oh, their king is moving to the Aurora. Now, he's already on that Aurora, so he's moving over to this one, and he wanted what? He wanted melons. So that'll just get him 5 victory points. But shoot, they are 1 away from that, which makes me think maybe I should give up on the fish. Because I would need to play that fish if it's too expensive for me to play at the moment, and do an achievement action. That is 2 turns. They would not have to advance for the next... Oh, no, and crud, I still have to get the resources to pay the fish. Yeah, so I guess I can still save up for 8 fish eventually, but besides that, it doesn't really seem worth it. So, still feeling this guy then. Oh, and I've got 2 mushrooms for Curacino, so maybe I should go for them. So that would just mean I need a coral, and that's it. What if I go here and use my net to grab this guy? Or I could use a net. I don't do this enough. I could use a net to grab something from the offer. Although I'm seeing one of the best snowflake guys is already a coral guy. So no, I'll use my net to grab this. That gets me a victory point. Oh, wait a second. Did I forget to do Swampus's thing for the wasp spike? I must have, because that's immediate victory points. Correct. So how many should I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also missed one on that track somehow. Okay, so I should be at 8 altogether, which means I do get to put down something and get an egg from it. Come on, Mike, play this game right. And wait, all of that was before I actually did the coral. So let's figure that out. I do want this guy just for the 2 snowflakes, honestly. And then I'll get 2 coral for the rest. Okay, and then I get to put down one of these. I want to have more variety. So let's put this here and get another crustacean. That gets me another victory point for my egg as well. And we fill in the offer. So by the way, once I get up to 12 eggs, any other eggs I get will just be worth 2 victory points because I can't get rid of these. But yeah, man, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only need 1 more lizard or crab to complete the highest achievement of that one. Although the bot's not rushing for that one, so I'm not in a rush either. And I want to keep some of these eggs for flipping that 8 achievement before the bot gets that. There are spots on the board that will let you flip an egg back over, so you could eventually get that going. All right, back over to this. Okay, the bot, not advancing. It'd be dumb if I had enough time to do the fish bird thing, but no, I don't think that's going to happen. So the bot is trying to get a bird or a fish, and there definitely are some. So that one's worth 2, that one's worth 0. So you're going to get the 2 one. Oh, never mind. They want the one with the most snowflakes first. So they'll actually get that one, even though it's kind of worse in other ways. All right, now for me, I could get an achievement and then get the big bonus from my guy, and it is a big bonus. So even though I could jump in now and grab the Aurora before I'm almost sure they're going to, let's do some achievement. Wait, which one can I do? Is it just 8 eggs? Because I don't really want to do that one yet. And I can't do birds and fish because I don't have enough. I don't want to do that one because I'm 1 away from getting the full value. I don't want to flip all my eggs yet. Well, crud. Did I get what I needed? I have the coral and flower to play my last dragon. And then, I have enough mushrooms to play this guy, which would get me to 8 for that other achievement. Okay, so maybe I'll do these 2 guys. All right, so let's pay Curacino first. He costs 2 mushrooms, then I get to activate a special effect icon on a mushroom habitat. I know, I guess the only one is gaining a mushroom, so he'll cost 1 mushroom. Yay! Although I had to have the 2 mushrooms, of course, first. Okay, and then for 1 coral and 1 flower, I'll play them. I can discard up to 2 cards and gain 2 victory points for each discarded card. So maybe I don't want. And I've got 3 fish, and he's about to get the 5 fish thing, so I would need to get to 8 fish and birds. That one would get me to 5, 6, 7, so maybe I shouldn't go for that. Well, you know what? The spirit and the butterfly, I think I might just be able to get like an egg for them and not have to worry otherwise. So let's get rid of both of these guys. That gets me 4 victory points, which gets me another net. Okay, now I'm ready to do the dragon achievement. But first, they're grabbing another card and they're still not advancing. Man, maybe I could have gotten that achievement, but that's fine. So this time it's for their blue one, their simian one. Ooh, I didn't see this guy. They got a double icon. That's bad for me. Although they need to exceed the minimum for the first achievement to get the second achievement. They can always get the first one. So right now they've got 3 monkey icons. So if they somehow don't get a 4th, they won't get the 12 points, but that's unlikely. All right, as for me, I'm spending my whole turn getting an achievement. With cards, you don't have to do anything. With eggs, I'd have to flip them to their hat side. That is going to unlock my captain's power, but I also get to pick which of these I want to do. So I can get 2 cards from the Wilderness, which would let me grab the ones that have snowflakes. Although the bot's not going for dragons right now, so the chance of them getting those cards are basically nil. So I don't think there's any hurry on that. I don't have any recharge powers to activate whatsoever, so I think getting 2 resources of my choice is probably the best. Okay, so here I only have 3 dragons, so I get the lower 6 victory point 1. Then I gain the bonus of 2 resources. Let's see, if I wanted to play these guys, I would need a lot of melons. So let's go for 2 melons, I guess. And I also get a trophy. This is the timer for the game. Once all 8 of these run out, we finish up. They're also worth 3 victory points each to me. And because I got my first achievement, I unlock Aquilo's power. So when I put him down in a second, since I have 10 eggs, this is great. I'm going to get a random card draw and the resource of their habitat, and I'm going to get victory points equal to their ending score. So that'll be nice. But first, okay, here we go. Now they're grabbing that last Aurora token, or not the last one of the last ones, and they're going to advance to get the achievements. So they go here, they get 5 victory points for finishing that up, but they wanted mushrooms, so they don't get anything else. And this doesn't count as a wild until after the action. So they get 5 victory points to 21, then they advance here to the yellow achievement. And they count how many birds and fish they have. They have only 3 between eggs and cards. So they take the minimum 6 victory points. So now I could only get to the 12 victory point 1. That also gets them a trophy. And now they're going to be focusing on crustaceans and lizards. Not that I'm worried about that, because I have that pretty much locked. I could get the better one in just a second. All right, to come back to me, I will jump in and grab the other Aurora before they can. So, I am getting my captain's bonus. So I draw a free card. Oh, it's a crustacean. Okay. Gain 2 victory points per flower habitat in my reserve. Ooh, and I just checked, and I have 2 of them, not counting this one, so that'd be 6 victory points. Heck yeah. Definitely want to play that guy. But then additionally, I get a flower resource from my captain's power, and I get 1 victory point immediately as endgame score. That was nice overall. That was just putting my captain down. I get an egg of my choice here, and that goes away. Remember, though, I don't get any victory points. That's only for the bot. And for egg, I'd mentioned this just to be able to get at least the minimum, because the final things don't care if they're hatched. I'll get a spirit egg, which gets me 2 more victory points, which gets me another net. And I still have to get a coral or a coral card. There's only 1 coral card, and I don't care about it much. So let's get the resource. All right, back to the bot. They are advancing, but first they're getting for their yellow, which is still fish and birds. And there's only 1, so they get this, no snowflakes. But then this advances and they do another time event. Oh, which is going to be our first Aurora. So for a player, they get to draw 2 and put them down wherever they want. For the bot, they just take it and put it on the leftmost wild. Oh, so this one is, wow, discard a card to get 3 resources of your choice. That's really good. Too bad I am already there, and I'll have to remove my guys and then go back. And the bot will probably already be there by then, unless I want to go on the mountains. Okay, then I get to do the same. I can't put it on the net habitat, but whichever habitat I go to, I can gain 1 of the resources for it. All right, let's see. This one gives me back all my energy. Yes, I don't have any energy cards. And this one would let me get 2 resources of whichever resource I had the least of. That's awesome. And looking, it looks like I can play 2 more cards and then get a good recharge power into play if I get a fruit. So let's cover up this fruit. Ooh, and then if I was feeling really wacky, I could go on the mountain and get both of those. But yeah, that gets me a fruit resource. All right, and that's it for that. All right, it's going to me. I could pull my guys back. But yeah, I think I wanted to play this card to get this good recharge power into play. Look, when I recharge, I get to draw a card and then gain its habitat resource. Pretty awesome. So let's play them. I can put them over to the side since they have a recharge power. That's 2 fruit and a coral. And then where was the other one? Oh, yes, this guy. I'm going to use a net to gain 1 coral, because you can do that before or after your actions. And that gives me enough to play this guy. So he has an energy ability. He can use it up to twice, but only once per turn. And it says discard 1 energy to look through the top 3 cards of the deck, take 1 and place the rest in the discard pile, and gain the habitat resource of the added card. Pretty great. It also gets me to 5 fish, the magic number that I never reached. But if I could play Duck Kaiser and some other fish or bird later, or get a fish or bird egg for my last one, then I could sneak in here for the 12. All right, but that was my entire turn. What are they doing? They are getting a card. For their yellow, still bird or fish. Oh, no. Last time and this time, they should have gone for a crustacean or lizard. Crud. So they wouldn't have gotten this guy. I think it was in that spot. They would have gotten him, and he's worth more. Oops, so they would have also gotten a snowflake. And now they're doing that again. Oh, then this lizard is definitely worth a lot more. Well, good for them. And they're advancing to cover up another lake and get another egg. Oh, actually, the only one that I didn't already get is here, which gets them a spirit. That's their first icon, but remember, they get +3 at this difficulty level for that final endgame thing, so not even close to them. I just got 1 to at least rate for a little bit of points. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my guys and recharge, so I can try to, get in there. But first, I advance the time tracker, which is going to do a full sweep and get me a net again. And we're going to add people to X's. And that's the only one that's... oh, no, there's 2 over here. So we got a monkey and a dragon. What did I want? I wanted a bird or a fish, so neither of those. And all of these are gone. Oh, man, they might grab that because they want monkeys anyway. I want to grab that if I can. And then I have to discard down to 5 cards. I only have 2. And then I activate recharge power, so I draw a card and gain its resource. Yucca Lord. So I'm going to get a free fruit. But yeah, I'm definitely not playing this, guys, because I'm not going for monkeys in the slightest. But hey, it's a card to discard for that one Aurora that gets me resources. All right, we reshuffle these. And what have they got? They're about to gain their monkey one. They're going next to Auroras. Of course they are. And then flowers. Well, they clearly... oh, that was their regular worker. They clearly want to go here because neither of these gets them next to flowers, but there's just more stuff in general. So they get 5 victory points. And this advances to nothing, but they're getting close to the... oh, they're about to flip to brown. That's terrible because then they do more stuff. I probably want to get some more achievements to finish that up. But they're also about to grab the monkey one, which will be the 3rd trophy. What am I realistically trying to do? I can definitely get that one, especially if I flip some eggs back over. I can definitely get that one at the highest level. I'm close to getting that one, so that's 3 of the remaining 6. They're definitely going to get at least 1 or 2, so I might want to get one more thing. I have 8 out of 14 people played. I have 2 out of 8 non-lightning bolts. I'm not even close to that. Yeah, so I guess either they're going to finish it, or I need to just play a bunch more cheap guys. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, for my turn, no question about it. I'm going to go here. So I do have to spend 1 resource. All I have is fruit and mushrooms, and I want both of those for Duck Kaiser, but I guess I want more fruit. Oh, but I can get some fruit here. So I'll go ahead and... oh, that's right, but I'm also going to get 2 of the least resource I have. So actually, let's spend the fruit to go on the mountain, and then that'll be one of my lowest resources, and I can get more. That's great. Okay, then I'm going to get 2 resources of the one I have the least of. Oh, wait, it says choose the resources you want to gain. So I think I can't choose 2 fruit because I wouldn't have the least of that anymore. Have mushroom for Duck Kaiser. I wanted to play him. That's more fruit and flowers. Okay, we'll do that. And then I have to discard a card for the other Aurora. I'll get rid of that monkey card in one anyway to get 3 resources of my choice. I guess I need another flower and another fruit and more fruit. And then finally, there's a regular fruit next to me, but no, I'm going to grab this guy and the 2 snowflakes. I'm not letting them snatch up that perfect card for them in so many ways. That gets me to 7 snowflakes versus their 4, so I should be in a pretty safe place for those. I know, I didn't even do my leader's ability, did I? So I get this, I get a coral, I didn't really want that, and 3 victory points, oh, that's awesome. So that gets me almost to a 3rd net, so I can spend some nets here. But the key thing is I cleared away most of the Aurora. I mean, they'll probably go in and grab that, but if they don't, I'll try to. Nope, they are grabbing crustacean and lizard. Oh, they got tons of options. No snowflakes. 2-2, I think they go for leftmost when it's tied otherwise. There we go. And they're advancing to complete their blue achievement and also switch to brown so they can go to mountains now. I'm going to shuffle all of these and flip over. And their blue is monkeys. They've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow, that worked out great. They did not get the 4th. So they only get 6 victory points. But this moves on and they do get a 2nd trophy. And again, because they reached a brown space, take all their cards, flip them to their brown side, and now they can go on mountains as well. But before they get a chance to do that, blow, and let's get rid of... I'm definitely not playing this monkey, right? I just grabbed him to hate draft. So that will get me 3 resources of my choice, and clear that out so they can't get 5 victory points. And I also get a coral, a person, or a resource. Let's see, I really want, 8 fish and birds. 1 egg, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I play this 6, 7, so let's see if there's a good fish in coral. Ooh, there is, a really cheap one. So let's grab him for my 1 coral. And for my 3 resources, I guess if I wanted to finish those fish and birds, I could do that. So that would need another mushroom. And I see some other people that need coral and some other people that need melons. So let's do that. That's right, no Aurora for you, but now they are more powerful, so we want to finish it up. Oh, they're going for Aurora, but there aren't any, so they're moving their regular guy to flowers, but they also get a free card. Again, the brown side of the cards is tougher, so that's just 3 extra victory points for them. All right, so a flower, that'd be 2. Where are the wilds? Oh, they're all taken up. So yeah. Oh, they can go on mountains. I do have to check for that. So that would be the best for them. See how it's 2 flowers and a fruit. That gets them 2 victory points. And again, they get a free card, and they're advancing time again. Ooh, which is our second and final Winterfall event. And okay, they don't match the corner icons. Freezing point. Place snowflakes on the 1st, 2nd, and 5th snowfield. Place a random egg on each empty lake. Whew. It's a lot of eggs. And then all players place 1 snowflake on a snowfield of choice to gain a corresponding habitat resource. That's nice. All right, so there's the snowflakes. Whole bunch of eggs. Yeah, then they get to put a snowflake down, and what they do is first they look for their single species icon, which is currently dragons. There aren't any of those. Then they look for their double species icons. They basically want to put things out for them to grab, which is crustacean and lizard. And the next tiebreaker is what already has more snowflakes, because they figure they can jump in there and get it, which, hey, might be true. And looking for me, I really want fruit, but there isn't any. That's annoying. You know, this Egg Gorgeous guy is pretty good, and I think I can sneak in and grab him. So let's go ahead and put another one there and get myself a flower. All right, coming back to me, I want to consider things one more time because I see the bot is only 2 spaces away from activating this one and taking the 15 spot because they always get the topmost spot of main achievements if they're available, and only 3 advancements away from getting this one, and they have 1, 2, 4 matching icons. So if they can get 2 more in that time, which certainly seems doable, there's a lizard and a crab in the offer right now, they would get the top of that as well. I'm saying all this because I have, how many? I have 6 crab eggs and 2 lizard eggs. So already, so 5 eggs and 1 card. Already I have enough to grab this. But that would flip a ton of eggs, and I would not have 8 eggs for this. And additionally, I have 1 fish egg. If I can play out some of these dudes, I'll want that to get that one, which again, realistically, is all I'm going to get in the game, right? 1, 2, 3. And then if they do 2, 3, that'll end things. That will be the end of the game. So I got to decide what I want to do here. I mean, this one, it's only a 50-50 that they'll get enough cards in time to get the higher one. So if I get the lower one, I might lock them out, and I can get that very easily. Although, again, I would use a lot of eggs. Well, first things first, I'm going to use a net to get the last egg I can hold, and I think I'm going to get a bird egg, which fills my last spot, get me 3 victory points, and getting me a net back anyway. I'm very close to putting another one of those down, although it's not going to get me an egg at this point. It would just get me 2 victory points. I'm close to getting an automatic trophy. I forgot about that. That would end the game even sooner. Let's see. If I wanted to play Duck Kaiser, I have more than enough everything. I have a ton of resources right now. And I don't think I need to play another one of those. I really want to play this guy. And I do have enough resources for both of those. That would get me more victory points. Okay, let's go for these. So Duck Kaiser, it's 2 fruit and a mushroom. And I didn't even look at what the power is. That's one of the 2 icons, but this is actually pretty good. End game, 1 victory point for each instant card in my reserve, max 12. And I've got 6, so that's not bad. And I'm also playing Backak Tooth. The guy's going to give me victory points for each flower. So that's 2 more melons, 2 flowers, and okay, I still just have 3 flowers. Oh, but that's another instance, another point from Duck Kaiser. That gets me 6 more victory points. Where was I? I think I was on 22. So I get to put another thing down. Let's see, I don't want him to get a crab, so I'll put it there. I can't hold another egg, though, so that just gets me 2 more victory points. Ooh, which does indeed get me another trophy. So we're really in endgame here. I just want to get as many achievements as I can to slow down the bot getting more stuff. And I've got a big mix of things. I want to try to get these 3. Let's see if we can make it happen. Ooh, and actually, with time running out, let's go ahead and use one of Pondire's energy. So I get to look at the top 3 cards of a deck. I take one into my hand, I get the resource matching its habitat, and I discard the rest. Oh, and crud, I should get this guy if I can. Oh man, if they get it, that's going to be terrible because that would tie them up with me for snowflakes. All right, so do I want or care about any of these? It seems unlikely. I'm definitely not going to be doing anything that happens often. That would just get me a resource. This would be a little too late to play. I guess I'll get the cheapest one. And it'll get me a fruit, which is a resource I'm out of. And actually, yeah, you know what? Why take chances? I'm also going to use a net for this one, sweep and get a card. I don't want them to get more crabs or lizards. So I'm going to sweep this side of things. And then I'm going to grab this one. Gets me to 10 snowflakes. No way they're going to beat me now. And I fill back in. Okay, just one crab. That could have been a lot worse. All right, and here we go. They didn't advance. That's awesome. They're just getting 2 cards. That is 6 victory points, but I just want to knock out as many achievements as I can. All right, so achievement-wise, I could just go for 5 crabs and lizards. If I do that, I have 2 crabs here. So I need to use 3 of my 12 eggs. Remember, I want to have 8 eggs for that one achievement. And then to get the max of birds and fish at this point, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only need 2 of those. So yeah, I should be able to do all 3 of those achievements and maybe use a net to flip some eggs back over, which is the special action on the wild that's next to my guys. So let's do the egg one first. That's the one that he's going to do. I don't care about butterflies. That's 2. Or spirits. That's 3. And then, I guess it's all crabs and stuff, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I suppose. All right, that leaves me with the bird and the fish I need for that one goal, but only a single lizard, which means I can't even do the minimum. But here I can get, I guess, another net is my best option here. So I'll grab the highest one there. I get a trophy. And I get a net, which I'm immediately going to use to flip one of my eggs. You can only use each space once per turn, so I can't use my second net now. And that gets me back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that'll take the minimum one, which I can grab out from under them if they don't get any more crabs or lizards. All right, and now they're still not advancing, although they are grabbing for blue. Oh, they want dragons? Did I know they wanted dragons? Well, that works out fine for them because they've got a 2 dragon card here. Although they're definitely not going to get down here to claim that achievement, so it's kind of a meaningless gain. It's also 0 victory point. Oh, no, never mind. End game scoring cards are worth 5 for them, so that's actually a very good card for them. And they get a dragon egg, and they get their 5th snowflake, but they're way too far behind to challenge me for that. All right, so they're definitely going slower than they might have, which is great. So let's go ahead and get the fish and bird one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do need to flip both of these. 7, 8. And should I just get 3 victory points? That seems like probably the best option here. Because this would trigger all my end of round things. That's not that great. The Pwn die would just let me draw another card. So yeah, let's get 3 victory points. Let's go in there. I'm getting the higher one of these and my 4th trophy. There's only 2 left. All right, back to our friends here. They are moving their regular worker. There's no Aurora, so they're going for fruit, which has got to be here, right? It's actually where I was just thinking about putting my worker, so that's annoying. Now, they can go to mountains, but no, nothing's going to be better than that. So that gets them 3 victory points, and they get a free card for 3 more, and they advance the time, which clears everything and adds eggs to circles. Not that I think it'll matter much. All right, so with that, I think I might have time to go for the higher crustacean lizard things. I've got 1, 2, 3 eggs, plus 4, 5 cards. So if I can play 2 of these and flip another egg. So that needs a lot of fruit and coral. I have the coral, so I just need the fruit. They just took the best fruit spot, though. Ooh, but I can probably use Pawn Diary's ability. Let's go and use this first to, again, draw 3 cards and get the resource for 1. I'm really looking for a fruit. Hey, there we go, a fruit habitat. I will take that. And then I can put my worker right here to get 2 more fruit and a coral. There's literally nobody I care about, so I guess I'll just take the resource, because you do get 1 point for every 3 or 4 resources at the end. So next turn I'll have enough to play both of these guys, and then I can do the higher value achievement to maybe finish things up. All right, and they are moving their regular guy again to the most coral. That's going to get him 3. It's a spot at the bottom. We've used that one a lot, and they get another card. And they're putting another thing down on the left to get them a lizard egg. All right, back to me. Let's finish this up. I'm going to play Richer Mitt. Each time you play a card that costs 4 resources or more, gain its resource. So that's worthless, but he's 3 victory points and he's a crab. That's what I care about. So 2 and 1. There he goes. Okay, and then where's the other one? Bearmore. I'm going to do 2. Oh, I get to activate the special effect of a fruit habitat on the map. Could gain resources. I don't really care about that. Ooh, I think the wilds count, so I'll go ahead and flip another crustacean egg, so I have the 8 I need. And that way I can use the net to grab this dragon egg. And since I can't fit it, I get 2 more victory points. Oh, which funnily enough gets me another net back, and I'll use that to grab this guy for 2 more victory points, because that's worth more than a net. Actually, wait, how many guys do I have? 5, 9, 10, 12. Okay, so I'm still 2 away from the other main achievement. Not going to worry about that because time is short, because, yep, there we go. They're going to get a card for dragons again. There aren't any, so they get a face-down card. And they get another one of these, and they do an achievement. Since I already got it, they do the lower one for the egg, and they get the second-to-last trophy. And I will get the final trophy, triggering the end of the game, but since I went first, they'll still get a turn. Because I've got 4 crustaceans and 0 lizards, but exactly enough eggs to make up the difference. And none of these matter much. I guess I'll do this one to just do my 1 recharge power to draw a card and gain its resource. But I am popping in here, and I'm drawing that guy and getting a coral. All right, they get a final turn, and if they advance, they'll still get the 5 for the lizard crustacean, but they didn't. Hey, that worked out great. They are, though, getting a card for yellow, which would be crustacean or lizard. And one of them had a snowflake, so they get that. And they get another snowflake. They made a go for it. That is 8, but that finishes us up. So now we get a ton of victory points. Let's start with the bot first. They're currently at 34. Okay, so first, they get 3 extra icons for the projects. So butterflies, they have 3 exactly, just the bonuses there. And including flipped eggs, I have only 2. I could have matched them pretty easily if I had tried. So they get 8 points and I get 3. And then for spirits, oh, they actually have an egg, so they have 4. And I have a single egg. Again, even though it's flipped, it counts. They get 8 and I get 3. Brings them to 50 and me to 43. You know, they get 5 points for each endgame scoring card and the regular points for all the other face-up cards. So that's 1, 5 is 6, 8, 11, 13, 18, 23, 26. All right, so they've passed the 50-point mark. Now they get their achievement points, which is not a lot. I finished the game fast enough to shut them out. 21, so they're at 97. And then 3 per trophy, they had 3. Takes them to 106. 1 per egg, they had 6. And because they're on wild level, they get the max of 3 points per face-down card. They have 7, so that's 21 more points. Okay, so 133. The last game I did, they were closer to 150 because I didn't go fast enough. Let's see how I did. Oh, wait, no, I forgot this. So sorry, they have 3 more points, but I definitely won with 8. That brings me to 51. And their final score is 136. All right, so now I get the points for all the cards I played and my end goals. I get my achieved achievements. I get 3 per trophy and 1 for every 4 resources or nets left over, but not for remaining cards. All right, so let's knock these out. My only endgame scoring is this one, which is 1 per instant effect, and I have 8 of those, so that's 8. All my other face up, 6, 8, 9, 11, 14, 16, 18. Oh, plus him, 21. Got me to 80 so far. Now my achievements, it's 24, 30, 45. Gets me to 125. That was going to be kind of close. 3 per trophy is 15. Maybe not so close. I already got him. And then 1 for every 4 resources and nets left over, which is a single extra point. Okay, so it was very close. I won by 5 points. Wild seems to be the right difficulty for me, but there are so many ways to make the game harder, not just with harder bots, but also with the scenarios. So that was Wondrous Creatures with Winterfall. And what do I think of the expansion? Well, the big thing is it does not change anything major in the core gameplay. If you didn't like Wondrous Creatures, this is not going to change your mind. If you already like Wondrous Creatures, there is more to like here. I think Wondrous Creatures is an awesome Euro, as I said in my original review. So I think for a lot of people, this will be a winner. But what does the game do? First of all, I like the changes to achievements. I like that every species is a viable path. In the old game, like I said in the beginning, there would be 1 species out of 7 that would be left out and wasn't useful for any achievements, so it kind of made those cards feel like wastes or dead space. Now, every single species could be pushing you towards something, which I think just means that the card play is interesting. Now, does it also mean that every game maybe follows a bit of the same path? In a way, yeah, because there's not necessarily certain cards you are valuing more or less. But of course, the play of the game and which things other people get a lot of and what becomes competitive and not is going to, I think, provide that variety. Having more creatures is cool. I don't know if adding the spirit species really helps that much. They don't seem to have that much of their own identity. I guess they do deal with snowflakes more than other creatures, but the snowflakes are only used for a single scoring thing. It's not like you are spending snowflakes unless some creature abilities do that. So I don't think the new creatures are doing that much. The new characters are also fine. I like their abilities. There were already a lot of characters in the base game, though, so this is just more variety. It's not really blowing me away. Really, the biggest things are these Winterfall cards, are the snowflakes making some animals more valuable, although, like I said, that's kind of minor. But the biggest thing, and I think probably the best part of this expansion, is that the board play is more interesting. You've got varied wild habitats at the beginning of the game. You've got these super valuable aurora habitats popping up and making certain parts of the board suddenly much more valuable. Depending on which events come out, you might have more mountains cropping up. So it's not huge, earth-shattering stuff, but it does make the core gameplay and the variety of the worker placement part of the game quite a bit more interesting, which I think is a good thing because the cards were already always interesting, but this could be a little bit rote in some plays of the game. So I think the expansion definitely helps with that. So I wouldn't rank this as a must-have, something you need to get if you already like Wondrous Creatures, but I think it is a worthy addition. And the thing is, Wondrous Creatures is such a great game that I fully support more content for it, and I think this is a really cool expansion they've added. Oh, and I guess I should say the expansion also adds a super difficult nightmare mode for the bot. You know, I don't need that. I'm never going to be good enough to beat that kind of level, but it exists for those crazy players out there who are better than me. So there you go. That is Wondrous Creatures Winterfall. I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching, everybody, and a special thank you to our biggest Patreon supporters, Dan, J. William F., Steve Wren, Casey W., Andrew R., and Chris C. We'll see you at the next stop.